The breakfast that changed everything. Lou Gehrig reaches for his coffee cup on a quiet Tuesday morning and watches it slip from his fingers like water. His wife Eleanor sees it happen. What she says in the next 3 minutes doesn't just save his coffee, it saves his life. And what she discovers over the next 2 weeks changes medical history forever. Riverdale, Bronx, New York. March 14, 1939. Tuesday morning, 7:23 a.m. The kitchen of a modest 2-story home on Delafield Avenue. Morning sunlight filters through white cotton curtains, casting long shadows across the yellow linoleum floor. The smell of bacon and fresh coffee fills the air. Eleanor Gehrig stands at the stove, turning strips of bacon with a practiced hand, brown hair pinned back, wearing a blue house dress and apron. Married to Lou for 5 years. 5 years of learning his rhythms, his habits, his moods. 5 years of perfecting the small rituals that make a marriage work. Lou sits at the kitchen table, reading the sports section. Coffee cup steaming beside his left elbow. Orange juice in a small glass. 2 pieces of toast buttered but not jammed. He's wearing a white undershirt and gray slacks. Hair combed, but not perfectly styled. This is Lou Gehrig before the world sees him. Before the uniform, before the cameras, before he becomes the Iron Horse. Just a 35-year-old man reading about yesterday's baseball games. But something's different this morning. Something Eleanor hasn't noticed yet but will remember forever once she does. Lou finishes reading about the Detroit Tigers and folds the newspaper. Reaches for his coffee cup without looking up. His hand moves toward the handle with automatic precision. Coffee, newspaper, breakfast, routine. Simple and reliable as gravity. His fingers close around the handle. Lift the cup 6 inches off the table, and then his hand betrays him. The tremor starts small, a tiny vibration in his thumb, then spreads to his index finger. Then his whole hand. The coffee cup shakes like it's caught in an earthquake. Coffee sloshes against the sides. A few drops spill onto the newspaper, leaving brown stains on the box scores. Lou stares at his hand, wills it to stop shaking. The tremor gets worse. The coffee cup rattles against his fingers like it's trying to escape. More coffee spills. Bigger stains spreading across the sports page. Damn it! Lou's voice is quiet. Frustrated. Not at the coffee. At his hand. At his body's sudden refusal to follow orders. Eleanor turns from the stove. What's wrong? Nothing. Just clumsy. But Eleanor Gehrig has been married to Lou long enough to know when something isn't nothing. She walks over to the table, looks at the spilled coffee, looks at Lou's face, sees something she's never seen before. Uncertainty about his own physical capabilities. Lou, you're shaking. I'm fine. He sets the cup down carefully, both hands wrapped around it for stability. Just tired. Eleanor sits down across from him. Studies his face with the focused attention of a woman who's made it her business to know this man better than anyone else in the world. How long has this been happening? It's not happening. I spilled some coffee. People spill coffee. Lou Gehrig doesn't spill coffee. And that's the truth. Lou Gehrig doesn't spill coffee, doesn't drop things, doesn't have shaky hands. Lou Gehrig is the most precise, controlled athlete she's ever seen. His hands don't shake, until today. Eleanor, you're making too much of this. Am I? She reaches across the table, takes his right hand in both of hers, feels the slight tremor still running through his fingers like a weak electrical current. This isn't normal, Lou. He pulls his hand back. I'm fine, but he's not fine. And they both know it. What Eleanor can't see is the way Lou's been struggling with buttons lately. The way he's been dropping his razor while shaving. Small things. Easy to dismiss individually, but together they add up to something neither of them wants to acknowledge. Lou, when did you first notice this? Notice what? Don't play dumb with me. The shaking. When did it start? Lou looks at his wife across the kitchen table, Eleanor Twitchell Gehrig, the Chicago socialite who shocked her friends by marrying a baseball player. The woman who chose him over men with more money, more status. The woman who's never asked him to be anything other than exactly who he is. He can't lie to her. Has never been able to lie to her. Maybe a month ago. Small things. Dropping my keys. fumbling with change. I thought I was just distracted with spring training. A month? Eleanor's voice rises slightly. Lou, you've been dealing with this for a month, and didn't tell me, because I knew you'd worry. Of course I'd worry. I'm your wife. Lou reaches for his coffee again. This time he wraps both hands around the cup before lifting it. The liquid is still warm, but not hot. It's probably nothing. Stress. The season starting. But Eleanor shakes her head. This isn't stress, Lou. Stress doesn't make your hands shake. She's right, and he knows it. In 14 years of professional baseball, stress has never made his hands unsteady. Maybe I should see a doctor. Maybe you should see a doctor today. Lou looks at her. Eleanor's brown eyes are serious, concerned, but not panicked. She's always been the calm one in their relationship, the practical one, the one who handles problems by facing them directly. Eleanor, it's just shaky hands. Lou, you're a professional athlete. Your hands are your livelihood. If something's wrong with them, that's a real problem. She's right. Lou's hands are everything to his career. Fielding grounders, gripping the bat, catching throws. Baseball is a game of inches and fractions of seconds. A little tremor could be the difference between making a play and missing it. Okay, I'll call Dr. Walsh when I get to the stadium. You'll call him now. Eleanor. Lou Gehrig, you will call that doctor right now and make an appointment for today. Her voice has that tone. The tone that means this isn't a discussion anymore. Lou smiles despite himself. Yes, ma'am. He walks to the phone, dials Dr. Walsh's office, speaks to the receptionist, explains that he needs to see the doctor about some minor hand tremors. The receptionist puts him on hold. Lou stands in his kitchen, phone pressed to his ear, looking out the window. Normal suburban Tuesday morning, people heading to work, kids walking to school. Mr. Gehrig, Dr. Walsh can see you at 11:30 this morning. I'll be there. Lou hangs up, turns back to Eleanor. 11:30. Good. I'm coming with you. You don't need to. I'm coming with you. Again that tone. The tone that means the discussion is over. Lou watches his wife move around the kitchen, washing dishes, wiping counters. Eleanor Gehrig, attacking the day's tasks with systematic efficiency. Except today she's moving a little faster than usual. Like a woman who's suddenly aware that time might be more precious than she previously understood. 9:45 a.m. Yankee Stadium. Lou arrives early, sits in his car for a moment, looking at his hands resting on the steering wheel. They're steady now. Perfectly normal. Maybe Eleanor was overreacting. He flexes his fingers, makes a fist. Everything feels fine. But then he reaches for the door handle and feels it again. That slight lack of precision. Nothing dramatic. But Lou Gehrig notices because he's spent his entire adult life trusting his body to do exactly what he tells it to do. Inside the stadium, Lou changes into his practice uniform and goes through spring training drills. During fielding practice, a routine ground ball takes a bad hop, comes up faster than expected. Normally he'd react instantly. Today his reaction is a split second slower. The ball grazes his glove and hits him in the shoulder. You okay, Lou? Joe DiMaggio trots over. Yeah, fine. Just caught me off guard. But it shouldn't have caught him off guard. Lou Gehrig doesn't get caught off guard by ground balls. During batting practice, Lou steps into the cage against Red Roughing. Easy rhythm, predictable location. Roughing delivers a fastball down the middle. Perfect batting practice pitch. Lou starts his swing and misses. Not by much, maybe an inch. But he misses a down-the-middle fastball from a pitcher trying to throw strikes. Come on, Lou, Roughing calls out. That one had your name on it. Lou steps back. Resets his stance. Yeah, I was thinking about something else. But that's the problem. Lou Gehrig doesn't think during batting practice. His swing is automatic. His body should know what to do without conscious thought. After practice, Lou drives to Dr. Walsh's office. Eleanor is already in the waiting room, reading a magazine. She looks up when he enters. How was practice? Fine, with some small things I want to ask the doctor about. Eleanor nods. She knows Lou well enough to read between the lines. Dr. Walsh calls them into his office. Thomas Walsh, team physician for the Yankees for 8 years. A man who's seen every kind of sports injury. Lou trusts him completely. What brings you in today, Lou? My hands have been shaking a little. My wife thinks I should get it checked out. When did you first notice it? About a month ago. Small things at first. This morning I spilled coffee. Any other symptoms? Weakness, fatigue, muscle twitching, maybe some weakness. Hard to tell. Let's take a look. Dr. Walsh conducts a thorough examination, tests Lou's reflexes, checks his coordination, his balance, his fine motor control. Most of the tests are normal. Lou's strength is still considerable, but there are small things, subtle abnormalities. His reflexes are slightly hyperactive. His fine motor control is marginally impaired. Lou, I want you to see a specialist. Eleanor leans forward. What kind of specialist? A neurologist. Someone who specializes in nervous system disorders. The word disorders hangs in the air. Lou and Eleanor exchange glances. This isn't just stress or fatigue. This is something that requires a specialist. Is it serious? Lou's voice is calm, matter of fact. I don't know yet. Could be any number of things. Some treatable, some not. But the sooner we figure out what we're dealing with, the better. Dr. Walsh gives them a referral to Dr. Paul O'Leary at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. One of the best neurological facilities in the country. How soon? I'd recommend within the next 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 14 days to get through before they know what they're dealing with. 14 days of wondering, worrying, watching every movement for signs of progression. Eleanor takes Lou's arm as they walk out of Dr. Walsh's office. We'll figure this out. I know. Whatever it is, we'll handle it. I know. But neither of them really knows anything yet. They just know that the breakfast that started with spilled coffee has changed everything. 2 weeks later, they're sitting in Dr. O'Leary's office at the Mayo Clinic. The test results are spread across his desk like evidence in a court case. Blood work, muscle tests, reflexes, coordination exercises. 2 weeks of examinations trying to put a name to what Lou already knows. Something is terribly wrong. Dr. O'Leary enters carrying a thick file. His expression is carefully neutral. The practiced face of a doctor who delivers bad news for a living. Mr. Gehrig, we've completed all of our tests. Lou's hands rest on his knees. They're not shaking right now, but he can feel the tremor waiting underneath. What did you find? You have amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS. It's a disease that affects the motor neurons in your brain and spinal cord. Eleanor grabs Lou's hand. Her grip is fierce, desperate. What does that mean? Lou's voice is steady. The nerve cells that control your muscles are deteriorating. Over time, you'll lose muscle function. How much time? Dr. O'Leary hesitates. 2 years, maybe 3. The words hit the room like a physical force. Eleanor makes a small sound, something between a gasp and a sob. Lou says nothing. He absorbs the information with calm focus. Will it hurt? Physical pain? No. You'll retain all mental faculties. You'll simply lose the ability to control your muscles. Lou nods. Thank you for your honesty, doctor. The flight home is quiet. Eleanor cries silently. Lou reads a newspaper, following the sport that has defined his life as if he still has decades instead of months. Lou? Eleanor's voice is small. What are you thinking about? He folds the newspaper. I'm thinking about how lucky I am. Lucky? She can't hide the incredulity. You just found out you have a terminal illness. I'm lucky because I got to play baseball for a living. Lucky because I got to play for the greatest team in the greatest sport. Lucky because 60,000 people cheered for me every time I stepped into Yankee Stadium. He takes her hand. Most people work jobs they hate. I spent 14 years getting paid to do what I love. How is that not lucky? Eleanor looks at him like she's seeing him for the first time. How do you stay positive when everything is falling apart? Because falling apart is a choice. The disease will take my body. I won't let it take my spirit. What Eleanor doesn't know yet is that her attention to detail, her refusal to let symptoms go unexamined, her insistence that Lou Gehrig doesn't spill coffee will become part of medical history, that the early detection she forced will help doctors understand ALS better, that her careful observation will contribute to medical knowledge that helps future patients. The breakfast that changed everything wasn't about the coffee Lou spilled. It was about Eleanor refusing to let him pretend it didn't matter. That refusal saved his life. Not from the disease, nothing could do that, but from facing it alone, unprepared, without the medical knowledge that would help him turn his final months into something meaningful. Sometimes the most important conversations happen over coffee on ordinary Tuesday mornings. Sometimes the people who save us do it by paying attention to details we're trying to ignore. Who in your life is paying attention to changes you're trying to dismiss? Who's refusing to let you pretend that symptoms are nothing? Because sometimes the person who insists on taking you to the doctor is the person who saves your life, even when the diagnosis is one you don't want to hear.